EP319.
We are here. We're back. It's when you said hello, that reminded me of all this drama that's going on with the royal family this week. Ooh,
Yeah, what
Lord.
the heck's up? What's the heck's up with that?
I'm so into it.
The magazine covers keep trying to do this thing where they're making me think that it's Kate Middleton and Meghan Markle in a fight, and then I read it, and it's like, that's not the case.
Right, of course. They just show the women because that's what we do.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't even think about it like that. Oh,
Yeah.
You're right. So,
Well, allegedly, Will had an affair with Kate's best friend, Rose.
yes.
And,
Had a child.
yeah, it's this whole scene. I don't know.
Is this legit?
I think he maybe hooked up with his, yeah, I think so.
And like, this is an actual like genetic with like match? Like,
Oh, you're saying that he was the father of her
Yeah.
kid? No, I
Yeah.
don't think that. I think they just had an
that's
affair.
what I read.
Well, maybe.
That it was like there's another.
Oh my
child
God,
out
there's
there.
a bastard. I love it.
Yeah.
It's so royal and delicious.
I
I mean, I hope no one's in pain. I don't want anyone to, be in pain so that I can have fun. But
right. True,
it's
true,
an
good
interesting
point.
story. Who
Yeah.
knows?
So, like, what's the general feeling at the
The general
the
feeling
old palace?
is the general feeling is that Will had this affair with their best friend, and that Kate is upset, of course, but that Harry is upset as well because he's saying like, "Why are you being like dad?" Like,
Oh, whoa! I got things confused. I thought this was like Dad because I thought, Will, like as in Prince William and
Yeah.
oh my gosh. Okay, I'm like wrapping my head around this. I was totally confusing this with the story about their dad who
Charles, right?
Yes, that's what I was referring to, or there's some love child from that.
Oh my God, I'm into that too. That's interesting.
Yeah. Okay, so I didn't
Ooh.
even know this. So Prince William has an affair?
Allegedly.
Oh.
With Kate's best friend, Rose.
No. Oh, God. I had a totally different story in my head. I was just like nodding along, like, without really listening to the details. And then I was
This
like,
is why you're great.
like record scratch. I was like, wait a sec. Did I hear just what I thought I heard? We need to break
Maybe
this
you're
down.
wondering, well, I got myself in this position.
Yeah, that's exactly. The little narrator in the back. Oh, Suze, that's hilarious.
So Harry allegedly is sort of saying to Will, you're being just like Dad, you're going to wreck the family. And people all thought that the rift was about Meghan, but it's really about Harry being mad that Will is a cheater.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's easier to blame the woman of color in the family,
Gosh.
right?
They sound like they really need a genogram to assess family patterns of dysfunction.
Sarah gave
Family
me a
life
genogram one
chronology.
time.
I did, didn't I?
Yeah,
I had to use you for class.
Yeah, what did you diagnose me with?
Yeah, I didn't diagnose you with anything. Get out of here. Probably, what did it? I don't know. Who knows? Probably a V code here or there. Like,
I don't even know what that is, but it's funny.
they're like the little, like when you can't diagnose somebody, they're like little extras that you like.
Yeah, it's like something's cooking.
Yeah.
Okay,
But
yeah.
like, so it'll be things like, high emotional expression in family of origin or
Mhm.
past history of child abuse from, whatever.
Yeah.
Or, insecure housing and things like that.
Insecure housing.
There was not a V code for picnic table in the kitchen.
But we all know what it means. Trouble.
Right.
Okay, wait. Let's stay on task here because the Royals are at stake. I am thinking about starting to
hilarious.
watch The Crown because I guess
people love this.
they've cast a Diana.
Oh.
So they're going to move into that era, and I'm into that era.
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm, so
Oh,
I'll
I
probably
feel
get
like
on
you
board.
should totally be watching The Crown.
Yeah.
This
Mhm.
is like right up your alley.
I know. I mean, I could have just watched that instead of marrying Adam. It would have saved me time.
Same thing, right?
Wait, before we started the show, Sarah was telling me about this thing about tattoos that I wanted you guys to hear. So I made her stop telling me so we could talk about it on the air.
Yes.
What is this story?
Okay, so a friend of mine contacts me or sends me a message and it's like, hey, I just got this new tattoo and I'm having like feelings about like it. I feel like, anxious about it. And I look at it and I just like, sometimes I'm like, I cry and I'm like, for no reason. I'm like, oh God, what have I done? And she's like, do you know this feeling? Like, and I'm feeling all worried about it. Like, does this feeling go away? And I was like, I know exactly what you're feeling. That is a real thing.
And then I
totally
said, is this just regrets?
Right.
But you said no.
Yeah.
Not exactly.
So it could be for some people. Like if you're somebody who gets like a misspelled tattoo on your cheek, for goodness sake, or something crazy like that. No regrets. Regrets. And so I recognize this feeling and I can relate to this feeling. And the time I had it when I was in Thailand, the last tattoo I got done, I had some clouds, like just some parts filled in. And really it was a cover up of another tattoo underneath that like wasn't as nice. And I needed like the lines cleaned up a little bit and some stuff added and blended in a little more. And so it wasn't like I was going out and getting something huge or like totally changing things or something, but I got it done. And then I looked in the mirror and I felt this like panic feeling, like, oh my God, like, now I'm the girl with tattoos. Like this is who I am now. There's no going back. And the crazy thing is like, it really was not like, if I showed you the before and after picture, I'm like, Sarah, there's like no difference. You're still fully sleeved and you added like maybe
it's
1
weird
inch of.
That's
right.
when you thought you became the tattoo person.
Right. It's totally weird. So in thinking about her telling me this or asking me this question and me relating to it so, on such a deep level, I was thinking about anxiety, and it occurred to me that I got that tattoo done when I had just gotten kicked off the show, one of the challenges, and I was like cruising around Thailand, but definitely living with some anxiety about like the show coming out, getting kicked off. Also, I didn't know they were kind of like keeping me around because they were thinking maybe they'd like replace anybody else who got me with somebody else who got kicked off, and like I'd have a chance to go back in the house. So it was kind of like living on edge this whole time of like, and it's just a place of high anxiety and like high stress, even in Thailand and on like this, quote unquote vacation. And, so in talking to her, I realized like, okay, this is just one of those moments where there's anxiety in another part of our lives. And when we have change, like when something big changes, it's really easy to point to, and this happens with in a whole bunch of different situations. It's really easy to point to the thing that's super obvious of like the change that just happened as like, that's where my anxiety is coming from. Like your brain and you have this, I don't know, this innate desire to make sense of your emotions by finding the source of the anxiety, or being able to point to something. Like it takes the feeling off of like the self, and it's like, oh well, I know why I'm feeling like this because I got this new tattoo, or I'm feeling like this because whatever. But I used to have it, and when I really started unpacking this whole idea was in looking at my fear of fire and the house burning down.
Yeah.
And I had to say, what, like every time I left the house, everything's fine. And what are you really scared of right now? Yeah. Where is this anxiety really coming from? It was usually I'm about to go into class and maybe I didn't read that day and I'm anxious about, being like put on the spot and ask a question I don't know the answer to, or I'm about to go to a wine dinner with Landon and I'm just nervous because I get tons of anxiety in social settings. And so it's like that stuff, but that is so hard because it takes some real like deep self-reflection and self-awareness to recognize like what causes the stress. So we just point to the easiest thing. Oh, I know I'm stressed out because the house must be about to burn down.
Do you think that it might be the case too, that the reason one would get a tattoo sometimes is out of that same anxiety that already exists?
Yes. So,
maybe.
Well, and that's interesting because that's something else that I told her was that the more personal the tattoo, the stronger that feeling is. I felt like that feeling was stronger for me, when I had put a lot of thought and that you are right. I didn't even think about that. We have to look at what the timeline of like where everything within context, you know?
Because the anxiety may have been present before you got the tattoo. And then you kind of thought the tattoo would add something good.
Yeah.
And then the anxiety was still there. So then you think it's from the tattoo.
And the only situation where this doesn't apply is if you get bangs, because that anxiety is definitely about those bangs, girl. They do not look good.
I want to clarify my comments about bangs. First, the one thing you won't regret is getting new sheets from Brooklinen.
Oh, I'm getting all new ones. Me over here. Yeah,
She's pulling the trigger.
I already did. Done. Everything's ordered.
I'm so happy for you.
Yeah, I'll take pics.
Yes. Okay. You spend a third of your life in sheets, so why not get a bedding upgrade? And you can get that feeling of the 5-star hotel sheets, but you don't have to spend an arm and a leg. And these sheets are really soft. They feel really nice. They wash really well, and they keep getting better over time. And they don't have that crazy markup of luxury sheets that they typically have. And you can mix and match over 25 colors and patterns to make your bedroom right. It's great for kids. Like, you could get stripes and polka dots and mix and match, and their room looks really cute with all the colors. My Brooklinen sheets are the best, most comfortable sheets I've ever slept on, and now it's your turn for an upgrade. Brooklinen.com is giving an exclusive offer just for our listeners. Get 10% off your first order and free shipping when you use promo code BRAIN at brooklinen.com. Brooklinen is so confident in their product that all their sheets, comforters, and towels come with a lifetime warranty. The only way to get 10% off your first order and free shipping is to use promo code BRAIN at brooklinen.com. That's BROOKLINEN.com, promo code BRAIN. Brooklinen, these are the best sheets ever.
Did this company start out of Brooklyn?
Oh, that's a very good question.
If the answer is yes, then that is the most clever name. I just put that together. I was like, I think they did. And how clever.
And how dumb are we to not think of it?
Right? I was like, wait a sec.
Wait a second. Okay, let me clarify my bang comments.
Yes.
Because, a lot of our brainiacs have bangs, and they were like, what, Suze? How could you? So I've never looked at anyone with bangs and thought they look bad. I never am sitting around thinking, you look like garbage. What I think, though, is sometimes when people don't have them and then cut them, right. And then you see that first picture of them and you think, oh, they looked better before. Yep. It's more of like the shock of it.
Yes.
I've been there.
Yeah.
Rather
on
than
both
me
ends.
Hating bangs. Yeah.
Yeah, because I have a friend, shout out to Nikki, who looks so good with bangs. And all of her daughters have bangs and they look great. Oh, they're cute as heck. And, that's not what we're saying here.
But if I cut bangs, you would be like, oh, that's fine, but you look worse.
Don't do that.
I won't.
Okay, good.
I'll make other bad choices, but not that one.
You know what's so funny? I was looking at, I was reading Twitter. Reading Twitter? Is that what you say? Scrolling through Twitter? I don't know.
Sure.
But Minnie Driver is somebody who I follow, and she follows me. Thank you. And little brag. And somebody commented to her and was like, oh, Minnie Driver, oh my gosh, the only woman who can pull off curly bangs. And she wrote under that comment, nobody can pull off curly bangs, including me. And it was real funny because I was like, that's a funny answer. And
I do feel bad for women that have that problem with the bang curly thing.
Yeah, that's me. That's why I don't do bangs, because it looks crazy as soon as you go in any humid temperature if you are a curly-haired gal.
If you had bangs, you would have to straighten them every day or something?
Yeah, blow them with that round brush.
Okay.
I remember when I was in like second grade, maybe third grade, the really cool girl in school got her bangs permed into like the perfect little like curl, like little bump. It was perfect. And I was like, how do you do that? And she's like, it's a perm. I was like, man, one day I'll get a perm. So one day I got a perm.
Oh, no.
That was a mistake.
What happened?
Curly-haired girls should not. It was basically like they reversed the curl pattern of my hair. And my hair was like, what? what? This isn't the direction we've been going. And it made my hair just a frizzy mess. I was older when I did this, but it was a hair mistake, a hair regret.
Did the stylist ever at the time say maybe you shouldn't?
No, you know why? Because it was a time when, oh God, this was all a mistake. It was a time when I was going to like hair schools to get my hair done.
Mm-hmm.
And they were just like students who were learning.
That hurts.
Yeah. Great for haircuts, great for color, probably not the best for,
Yeah, if you have a complicated procedure going on.
Don't do that.
No, you got to pay the premium on that one.
Yeah. Yes. Yep. That was, so.
All right. Well, I'm glad we covered all that. I really am. Like, I think that's a very interesting human experience where it seems so simple. Like, oh, she got a tattoo and she regrets it. But there may be more to that.
Totally. And just to understand that this is a real feeling that other people have too. And that like and I think it's important to explore anytime we have these big emotional, like anytime we feel flooded with emotion, whatever it may be, it's important to like take a step back and picture ourselves almost like floating above, looking down, able to have more perspective on the situation, going like, okay, what's really going on here? And can we zoom out a little more to look at more things that could be contributing to this? And it just gives it gives you a lot more compassion for yourself.
Yeah.
And we all need that.
Yeah. And we do all need to kind of look at ourselves from that, aerial view.
Yep.
I on a small scale, I had that the other day. I looked in the mirror. I was wearing jeans that I thought were cute. And then I saw myself as other people would. And I was like, ooh, no, they're not. And I took them right off.
What? Why? Why did you think they weren't? What do you think they wasn't cute about them?
You get used to seeing yourself a certain way and then so you just think it looks fine. But then there just something happened with my eyeballs. And I was like, oh, no, wait, that does not look good.
Oh, well, like what color were they? Regular jeans?
Yeah, regular jeans. The cut was not. They were.
I don't believe it. I just don't believe that you look bad in any jean. You are like the jean queen.
You need like the right length and all that. It's a real science.
Yeah. How do we feel about those new cropped ones?
That is exactly what I'm talking about.
Okay, this is a problem because I just bought a pair of those shoes.
Oh no!
I'm really hoping that the mirrors at H&M weren't playing tricks on my ass, and I mean that literally.
That is what happened, where I was like, yeah, these are cute. All these people wear them. And then I stepped back and was like, wait a minute.
No, I don't believe it. I'm going to be the judge of that. You're going to have to let me judge. You're going to put them on after this, and I'm going to give you the yay or nay.
I'll give you a fashion show.
Yes. Oh, I love a fashion show. But
speaking
I totally
of
bought those.
Clothes, there was this headline the other day about a school principal who decided to create a dress code for the parents picking the kids up.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So the dress code was basically saying stop wearing your pajamas and stop wearing wraps around your head and things like that.
No.
See?
Okay. Now,
but let me say too.
Okay, I don't like this.
The principal is a woman of color.
Okay.
So that should be taken into consideration. However, the rules overwhelmingly will affect people that don't have a lot of money, as well as people who have hair that they don't want to get wet or, where they want to protect from the elements of some kind, which would affect people that, black people more than white people.
Yep.
So what do you think about this?
I mean, if it were a white principal, I'd be like, nope.
Yeah,
definitely
for
kick him out of there,
sure.
fire his ass. But, I think I wonder if maybe I feel the same. I feel like you can't really, like,
I don't like when people police other people's
me neither.
clothes
And I feel like if you want to address those things, then you have to come at it from a different angle. You can't just say like, because wouldn't it be great if everybody had the time to like wake up in the morning,
sure,
do their hair, get it, like get dressed, do all that. But no, maybe this person works the night shift and they just are waking up to taking their kid to school and have to then go right back to bed to try to get some rest before their, big long day. Like, if you want to address those issues, then come at it from the other side of like, okay, now we provide childcare in the morning, or like something like that that's addressing the
actual problem,
not the symptom, not the, people's reaction to, or people's, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. But I don't like the policing either.
Yeah, I mean, I think the intention maybe was fine, where maybe it was really out of control and people were rolling up in things that weren't really appropriate.
Yeah.
But it's a fine line, and you could maybe encourage people without policing explicitly.
Or what if instead you made it mandatory that parents attend a little workshop or meeting or whatever it is on image and body language, and put it teach it in a different way. So you're talking more about how what we model to our children.
That would have to be done very carefully.
Yeah.
Because it would take the same tone of being poor is a crime, or
it's right. It always comes down right. It always comes down to that.
Another crime that you have to watch is people trying to break into your house.
Yeah.
And that's fine if you want to police that, because Ring is going to help you make your neighborhood safer, make your house safer, because they have smart video doorbells and cameras that protect millions of people everywhere. If you guys don't have one of these, they're so great. We just gave one to our pool guy because he's so nice.
And Adam loves the pool guy.
Yes, his best friend, Jesus.
Yeah.
And Jesus was saying that their neighborhood has had a lot of break-ins and that he was nervous about it. And we were like, oh, we got you. So we gave him a Ring smart video doorbell and camera, and
so nice.
It has a video and two-way audio feature that goes through your phone, so you can say to the Amazon guy, hey, just leave that there. Or if someone's at your door and you're like, who the heck is that, you can talk to them right from your phone, no matter where you are. And as a listener, you have a special offer on a Ring starter kit available right now. With a video doorbell and motion-activated floodlight cam, the starter kit is everything you need to start building a ring of security around your home. Just go to ring.com/braincandy. That's ring.com/braincandy. Keep you safe out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't feel real
totally
good about
right.
it. But,
yeah.
Yeah.
I
don't know.
Oh, because it does always just let people live their lives, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, because what's the harm, really?
What is the harm?
There's bigger fish to fry. And when so many kids are food insecure and all that stuff, don't worry about what their parents are wearing. Jeez.
Yeah. Good point. And the only thing I would say is that I would, if there were ever and this is where I thought you were going with this, that if it were inappropriate as far as revealing clothing.
Sure. Yeah.
Then it would be, I'm like, mom with their bags all hanging out when there's junior high boys present who are dealing with a lot of hormones. Maybe put
I'm sure
those girls away.
There are plenty of those people too. I've never seen anyone.
And that is in every school district, in every,
yeah, that
neighborhood.
crosses all class lines.
Yes. And also to add to this, then the pickup and drop off in the elementary schools in Orange County look very similar, where the women are in their, and men sometimes, are in their pajamas, it's the same thing. They're in, they're just yoga pants instead of, or Lululemon instead of whatever.
Yeah,
and
right.
They're still your pajamas, girl. So
yeah, on this list of rules it said no leggings, and I was actually surprised by that because come on.
Well, there you go. Every single mom in Orange County would violate that dress code.
I can't quite figure out what the big deal is when people wear leggings. As far as why is that so different than tight jeans?
That's a good. I really do think it's because some people don't realize how transparent they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's more about the fabric than the style?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Because you can wear those, what do they call them? They call them point pants.
Mm-hmm.
Pointe, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
That are just really the black ones from, what's that brand we love? Fabletics. That are just a thicker material. They're pants, but it's just the thin pants that as soon as you bend over to pick something up, we're like, whoa, I can see everything.
Did you read about the mom who wrote an open letter to young girls saying, "Stop tempting my boys by wearing leggings to school and church"?
Oh, God.
It's for real. This is a Catholic woman, and she was saying that her boys cannot handle that kind of temptation.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, this is another one of those things where we're putting it on girls like it's our fault.
Right.
God forbid. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, they're definitely downloading porn, Linda.
Linda. Right. It was probably written by Linda.
Yes.
Fuck
I
her.
mentioned on here that my supervisor for one of my programs that I do is named Linda, and she's like the most lovely woman on the planet who would never, ever write a mean letter and is just great. And every time I see her, I send her an email and I'll be like, "Hi, Linda." And I'm just like, oh, I'm laughing to myself.
Does
and
it make you
who
kind
to the
of
show,
love Linda more?
Yes. Both Lindas. The imaginary one who hates cursing and writes angry letters to everybody.
She's not
and
imaginary.
The lovely one. Right. I forget that too. Oh my gosh, she is a real person.
Yes.
That's right. I forget that. I thought we just Right. After 319 episodes, Suze, I forgot about episode 5 in which Linda scolded us for our fucking insanely badass mouths.
Right. Linda wrote us a scathing email telling us to clean up our act and keep that potty language out of our mouths. And we told her to fuck off.
Yes, we did. Sorry, Linda. Sorry, not sorry. Except now I'm seeing all these adorable little brainiacs who listen to the episode. And I'm like, oh, I got to stop cursing. But I hear that they do like an explicit... They like mute the explicit episodes, but then I'm like, are all of our episodes explicit?
Well, like I think they are technically.
Yeah.
Do you think we should stop swearing in addition to stop saying like?
Fuck no.
That's out of the question.
You know what? It's one of those things where I couldn't. It would be too difficult to make. And as soon as I bring my awareness to it, like to try to stop, I'm going to do it more.
What's your favorite swear word?
Oh, I think I like... Well, do you know yours right off the top of your head?
The one that makes me laugh the most is bitchin'.
Bitch. Oh, I do love bitchin'. God,
it's so bitchin'. Funny to be like, I love your bitchin' socks.
That is such a good one. Oh, that's a bitchin' jacket. Yes, we should say that more.
Really, fuck is the best swear word because it's a verb and a adjective and a noun. It's just like everything.
That's definitely the best one. I mean, I feel like it's the easy answer, but it's my favorite.
It just is
because
good.
you can like put different. You could use it for so much.
My second favorite would probably be jackass.
I
love calling people
dickhead.
Jackass.
It's fucking dickhead. Yeah.
You do. You say that a lot.
I do. I just realized, like, as I'm sitting here thinking about it, I do say that a lot. I'm like, oh, this dickhead over here. Yes. It's kind of like you saying jackass. It's so good.
Yeah, I love those. I do not love bitch, I will say, despite our badass bitches segment. I don't like it as a verb.
She's a bitch.
Like she's bitching.
Yeah, I don't like it. You know what? That's true. I don't really. Oh, she's a total bitch.
But bitchin'. Like
yeah,
that's a good one.
Yeah, positive. Yeah, I mean, really, like any swear word that you can turn into a compliment or like make it positive, I'm down. I'm down for that.
Yeah, it's fucking great.
Yeah, badass.
Yeah, all right. Yeah. We're keeping things positive with our profanity.
Yes.
Okay. I like it. I went to this is totally off topic, but took Matt Neroni to a podcast taping at the Hayworth Theater. It was Harmon Town, which is hosted by Dan Harmon, he was the showrunner on Community, and he's this quirky guy. And it was really fascinating to watch because they picked two people from the audience to come up and talk. It was just sort of random, and they both happened to be women. And I was so bummed out because the guys they have the host and then his sidekicks, and they're all very funny, and the girls weren't.
No.
Yeah. And here's my theory, because I think that, this argument about women aren't funny, I think that women are so trained on to be an audience and to be the one who laughs at the jokes and like just goes along to get along, that affectation is very difficult for most women to overcome. Because they were very agreeable and they laughed a lot.
Okay.
But they weren't funny.
I'm wondering if do you find that the females that you know that are funny have a more masculine energy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's it too. I think it's like, there's a language that we speak in, and the language is either a masculine language or a feminine language. And you can be a guy who speaks in a more feminine language. It comes down to, I'm going to get this right. Let me make sure. Do you want your feelings, like your emotions and feelings cared for, or your thoughts and ideas respected?
Mm-hmm.
And depending on how you answer that determines whether you have a more feminine or masculine way of speaking. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I want to be respected.
That's my answer, and that's the more masculine one, obviously.
Right, and that's why we're fucking hilarious.
Right. Duh. Hello.
Duh. But
okay.
I mean, it just bummed me out more than anything. Because I was like, come on, be funny, you got this. And then they just defaulted into that sort of prototype of a girl or a woman.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, come on.
Did they have a more feminine energy?
Well, I found out afterwards that one of the women on stage was trans. I didn't know that at the time.
Okay, so then maybe there's I don't want to say overcompensation because that's totally not correct, and that's not what I'm saying at all.
Well, just embracing the feminine style.
Yes. Which in so many ways, I wish I had the ability to do.
Mm-hmm.
Because I would love to be more feminine and be more in touch with that feminine, way of speaking and living, and and also when you're coming from that place, the feminine place, you're better at receiving things. You're
and usually way nicer.
That. Yes.
Yeah.
And usually women are who when they aren't like this are like giving, and then feel like they don't ever get anything back.
Yeah.
Because you can't, if you're giving all the time, then you're not setting yourself up to be receiving.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes a lot to switch those things in our minds.
Well, if you're doing a lot of sending, what I would encourage you to do is use stamps.com.
Mm-hmm.
I just want you to be like, that was a good segue, Suze.
That was an excellent segue, Suze.
No one really has time to go to the post office. You're busy. Who's got time for the traffic, all that jazz, lugging your packages in? It's a hassle. And that's why you need stamps.com. It's a time-saving tool for small businesses, but really anybody that just ships stuff from your house, because you print out the postage right there, no matter what size or where it's going, and then slap it on your package and put it in the mailbox, and you can get 5 cents off every first-class stamp and up to 40% off priority mail. And it's a fraction of the cost of the expensive postage meters. It's a no-brainer is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Saving you time and money. That's what I'm here for. And right now, our listeners get a special offer that includes a 4-week trial plus free postage and a digital scale without any long-term commitment. Just go to Stamps.com, click on the microphone at the top of the homepage and type in Brain Candy. Stamps.com, enter Brain Candy. It's so easy. You will love it.
So to speak more on this, feminine and masculine side, yes. I was looking at these notes that I have from this love workshop that I went to and did with this woman, and it's talking about almost like a yin and yang, these two things complement each other. And when you have two people who are coming from a masculine energy in the relationship, it repels two north ends of a magnet, and the same thing if they're both coming from the feminine side. And so the energy of the feminine one is passive, patient, and vulnerable. And the energy of the masculine one is to compete, conquer, and control.
Oh, my God.
I know. The action of the feminine side is to receive, be available, and respect. And the action, and like give respect, and the action of the masculine side is to give, protect, and cherish. The intention of the feminine side is femaleness, physically well, and relationships. And the intention of the masculine side is maleness, mental wellness, money, and sex.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Wow. What are we supposed to do with this information? Just know it?
I think like there are ways to almost train yourself in the way that we speak to cater to whatever energy people are giving us. Mm-hmm. And, to kind of recognize, how am I asking this? How am I, like, in order to, kind of like get what you want out of relationships,
Yeah, it's very insightful just with dealing with people, especially in the workplace or whatever, just to know what's at play.
Yeah. And even like saying things like changing how you speak from, would you mind if I did this? Could we do this? Would it be all right to do this? To, I want blank. Do you want blank? And when you speak, okay, so like the first one I said is coming from that feminine voice of, would it be all right? Would you mind? Would you like? Which is great, but may not get the response from the masculine energy that you want. Like, they don't understand that. It's like very wishy-washy. It's not cut and dry. It's not very clear. So if you want to, say that in a different way that matches a more masculine energy, you would say, I want blank. Do you want blank? Mm-hmm. Like, let me give an example of like, would you mind if I go out with my friends tonight? Mm-hmm. Versus, I want to go out with my friends tonight. Do you want to stay home?
Yeah, right.
The masculine energy would be like, okay, she wants to go out with her friends. Go ahead. Do I want to stay home? No, I don't. Or yes, I do. Great. End of conversation. But if you did, would it be all right if I went out with my friends? He's like, well, yeah, sure. And there's so much room for like ambiguity and more interpretation and different things, because in the feminine, we're like focused on different things.
Yeah,
like
and there's more nuance. And
yes.
Mm-hmm.
So learning how, like, okay, how can I ask this that aligns with like their way of receiving information?
Sometimes it backfires, though. I can recall the week that my dad died, I had emails coming in, and I took about a day to get back to someone. Mm-hmm. And I took that tone because I obviously was in the middle of hell, and just answered the question. I wrote back and said, no, I wasn't the kind of thing where you write, dear so-and-so, blah, blah, blah. Right. Sincerely, Susie. It was just abrupt, sort of like, yeah, we'll get that to you by Friday. And he wrote back angry and was like, thanks for getting back to me so quickly and with such courtesy or whatever. And
like sarcastically?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
And I was like, he unleashed a lion.
Yeah.
That's so
unacceptable.
Mad, because my email would have been fine even if my dad hadn't died that day, and even if I, everything was going great.
Oh, and so, that's gross, because he would have not been like that if you were a dude sending that message.
That's right. That's why I was like, excuse me? Because there was nothing rude about my email. It was just business. It was all, nothing flowery about it. And he was offended, and I think we're held to a different standard in that way. Yeah. So sometimes it can backfire.
This is all, you hear like those in people handing out, I don't know, advice on how you should write emails or shouldn't write them, and how you should take out, like, I'm just writing to da-da-da-da. Every time I take that out, I do feel like I'm, this word that we hate, a bitch, when I write the email. And what is that about?
Right.
I don't have an answer.
Well, I have started
and I usually do. So what the hell?
Right. We're usually all full of answers
At
over
least
here.
a theory, but I don't. I'm like, what? I just don't know why that is, and what other language. That's where I need some training on how to do that.
Well, and I think that's why we all got in the habit of using exclamation points so much, is that we wanted to make sure people could see, oh no, we're super happy and positive.
Oh, gross. Now I'm annoyed at that. Why do I have to be like that? You know?
I have been curbing my use of exclamation points for that very reason.
You know, me too. And I got a wonderful letter, really nice note from a friend of the Brain Candy podcast, David Epstein, who wrote The Sports Gene. That was our book club book a long time ago.
A couple years ago.
And he wrote to me saying that he has a new book coming out and would I like a copy? And I was like, yes, can't wait to read this. And when I was writing my email back to him, I'm like, this guy's an author. I have to really care about, and I deleted like 3 exclamation points because I'm like, he's going to think I'm silly. Like I'm just an idiot.
Yeah.
And it sounds too like woo, woo, woo girl. Like,
and that's why these are things that men just do not encounter. They're never debating whether to use an exclamation point.
Oh my God, that's so true.
And it drives me crazy.
About a lot of stuff that we
I
think
know.
About.
This is the thing,
this is the
hear
gas
a lot
station
about
argument all over again.
You're exactly right. That's what I'm saying, is that we are always wondering, is this safe? Am I being careful? Is anyone following me? That kind of stuff. But there's also these smaller, less about safety things and more about just relationships. Am I sounding too enthusiastic? Should I be more businesslike? Should I, whatever. It's just exhausting.
We are doing a lot of work in there.
Patriarchy.
I wonder, I know, God damn it. I wonder, though, if because we do know that women make more use of both hemispheres of the brain.
Mm-hmm.
That they make, really, and in that you can almost like jump to the assumption that there's more like neurological connection between the 2 hemispheres.
Yeah.
And maybe, I don't know, I assume, because how else would we be using both more, and or more communication between the 2? And I wonder if these kind of like mental gymnastics we're doing at all times are in a way strengthening our brains to come up with more creative solutions to things. Because I just watched a little bit of this documentary on Netflix called Creativity about a neuroscientist who's trying to unlock like the secrets to creativity of humans. And what happened is the input and exput, is that the word? Output. I'm like, I said that wrong. Input and output areas of our brain used to be right next to each other. Like for a mouse, for example, a mouse sees food and then he goes, there's food. I'm going to eat the food. And that's it. It's real simple.
Mm-hmm.
And when the input and output areas of the brain are right next to each other, that there's no other option for a creative way to look at this situation. It's just, there's food, I eat the food. It's all based on these like biological, drives that an immediate satisfaction. But as the brain evolved, the areas for input and output grew further and further apart with a bunch of stuff in the middle. And there's a bunch of stuff in the middle is like forcing the brain to take a more creative route to get to the end goal of the like decision of what to do with this. So looking at the example of food, we see a watermelon. We could eat the watermelon. We could turn it into a game where we throw the watermelon back and forth to each other. We can turn it into an art project by carving away and making a cool design out of the shell. We can turn it into a basket to carry other things if we, cut it right and blah, blah, blah. So because our brain takes there are a whole bunch of different paths to take to get to the end. And so I wonder if as women, when those parts of the brain are like our brain's just doing more work, that maybe it's strengthening other areas and they, increasing our abilities for like communication, creativity, ability to come up with like interesting solutions to problems, like our ability to plan ahead. We know women are much less impulsive and are like one of the fastest growing like groups of like millionaires and even billionaires because they're better long-term investors because they have more foresight and don't act as impulsively. Like, could there be these unintended positive consequences to this that maybe we're just not looking at. And,
I mean, I like the sound of this.
Me too.
So I'm going to say yes.
Yes.
I'm also going to say yes to Liquid IV because it's so great. It hydrates the heck out of you. Yeah, rehydrate your brain. Whether you have jet lag when you're traveling, you can throw it in your luggage so you can avoid that shenanigan. You go into the festivals. Who's doing that? Not me, but they seem like they need to keep hydrated. And, or if you have kids that are on sports or whatever, you can throw this into your car and just have it for on the road. Liquid IV hydrates you 2 to 3 times faster than drinking just a bottle of water. And it has vitamins in there, keeps your body ticking, the essential vitamins, including more vitamin C. And they have a nighttime one I told you guys about. This my husband's
I still want to try that.
Yeah, it's really nice if you want to get into that mode of like, it's sleepy time and I need to hydrate before going to bed, and it gets you all cozy. I love Liquid IV. I know you guys will too. Right now, our listeners get 25% off at liquidiv.com when you use our code BRAINCANDY at checkout. That's 25% off anything you order on Liquid IV's website. Go to liquidiv.com and enter my promo code BRAINCANDY to get your savings and start getting better hydration. That's liquidiv.com, promo code BRAINCANDY. Don't wait, start getting hydrated today. And as I was speaking, this is a true story. I should take a picture. Adam went outside to say hello to Jesus, the pool guy, and he took him a Liquid IV.
Hi, Adam. Oh my gosh. Yep. Yeah. There you go.
Anyone that comes over, like my makeup artist, anybody, he's like, here, take these.
Would you like Liquid IV?
For real. So it's so cute. Yep. Anyway.
I keep them in my bag at school, and they're always like my emergency go-to self-care at the halfway point of the day.
That's right.
I'm like, have you had any water today? And the freaking water machine at our school is broken.
Well, what?
So I got to double up on my Liquid IV. Because,
right, it's necessary.
Right. It's like they installed one of those like, water purification, fill up your water bottle right here, and it counts like how many bottles it's filled. Like everybody's seeing these machines everywhere. The thing has been broken for like 2 weeks.
Okay, what's going on?
Yeah, and you know what I had to do? I had to buy bottled water the other day. And you know what that costs at my clinic? Yes. One of those regular bottles of Dasani. Oh, gosh, no, too much. I would be really pissed then. $175.
Yeah. That's a lot.
That's highway robbery. $175 for water. In Thailand, you know what a bottle of water costs at 7-Eleven?
No.
12 to 24 cents. Because they recognize people need this to stay alive.
I mean, right. You should just fill up your bottle and then go in with water. Do you not?
Yeah, but I'm there for 12 hours.
No, right. Okay.
You know?
Does the actual fountain work or just not the filtered one?
The fountain, don't get me started on that thing, does that annoying thing where the water comes out at such a low pressure thing that you can't get your water bottle at the right angle to get underneath it because it just dumps out whatever it just filled in.
Yeah, that's not okay.
Yeah, unacceptable, Chapman University.
Chapman, we're furious.
I am paying so much. The least you could do is...
I have been getting so many great tips. I posted about this on Earth Day from Kat Ogden, who is on Real World London. Oh. She's doing like an Insta story every day for Earth April. It's over now, of course, but I was riveted. One of the things, and Easter's over, so this doesn't apply exactly, but she was saying for Easter, she was going to you go online and you look up like, here's how to make a Lego lion or a Lego giraffe or something. Yeah. And then you get a little Easter egg and you open it up and you put in the Legos you already have that will create that animal.
Oh my gosh, that's genius.
Genius. See, we're talking about a woman. She's a genius.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. We said it.
And that way the kid's happy because you guys can make this little cool thing together. Dude. You didn't buy anything new. I love repurposing stuff.
And the kids will not even know and not even care. And how fun will that be?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm
it doesn't have to just be for Easter.
And like find how to do it and print the little instruction. Like,
yes,
I guarantee
that's what she does.
Yes. Okay. Mm-hmm. This is like creative parenting.
So cute.
I love it.
Me too. I was really inspired by her every day with her ideas because I thought this will make people's lives better. It's helping the earth, and it'll save you money.
You know, I went to one of the most fun birthday parties I ever attended as a child. I can remember every moment of this birthday party to this day. I must have been 6 or 7 when I went, maybe 8, probably 6 or 7. And all the mom did was get a whole bunch of bubble wrap, like halfway used bubble wrap.
Yeah.
And covered the whole floor with bubble wrap.
Oh, that's brilliant.
That was it. And we had so much fun going around, just jumping around, popping all the bubbles. This was like trash.
That is so good. I'm going to tell Kat.
Yes. Could you imagine if you are throwing a party for like 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds, 5-year-olds?
Oh my God.
You can really take all of your Amazon boxes, put them all out in a big tower, cover the floor with the bubble wrap that is like still good, that was used to stuff these things that we know we all have a pile of in the garage if you're anything like me. And that's it. $0 birthday party, recycling everything. And maybe even more fun idea, you put out a bunch of like crayons and stuff, and then they decorate the boxes and they can make a whole bunch of stuff out of it.
Right, because if you use crayons on cardboard, it creates a wax, and then you can slide down the cardboard really fast because it's all slippery too.
Look at this. We didn't know about.
Yeah.
Okay. So
that's
fun.
I just think that's so cool. And you don't have to worry about like kids ruining whatever cool, beautiful things you've put out. You just let them run amok.
Yeah. And like thinking of, I have a friend, Corey, shout out to Corey, who, for one of her kids' birthdays, this was so much fun. She just set up an obstacle course for them at the park with like stuff that she had around the house, like a wood, like a 2x4 and some cinder blocks. And she made a balance beam. And then she like just easy stuff that was laying
kids
around.
Love it.
They loved it. It was so fun. It was like a whole ninja course, and they set it up like Ninja Turtles. She made them all Ninja Turtle shells, like out of, I want to say it was like, it was those turkey pans, you know, like the foil turkey things that you use. Yeah. She spray painted those green.
That's
created
smart.
Like a little strap for them, and all the kids were wearing like colored turkey, pans, and then they had Landon come out dressed in because Landon's so good at being like, he used to do that as a job. He was a character at birthday parties who came and did balloon animals and stuff. So all of our friends take advantage of that and still put him to work. And he came out dressed as Master Splinter and put them all through the most adorable ninja training course, like training class. He was like, okay, before we attempt the obstacle course, we must go through the turtle training. And like, first, let me see your karate chop and let me see your high kick. And all the kids did it together. And it was so cute. And it was like maybe a $50 birthday.
That's what I'm saying.
Like maybe a little more, but still for how much they charge at like these other places you go to, or, they're like, that'll be an entire month's worth rent.
Yeah, and if that's your thing, great. But why not try to, keep it cheap and cheerful and save the earth?
Yes.
That's what I'm saying.
I love it. I'll post a video of that really cute. I have like a clip of him doing that little ninja course. And he like somersaulted in and definitely hurt himself. And then just like played it off. I'm like, I love that man.
See, that's really fun. I love all that. Yeah. And it's more memorable, too. I bet the kids will remember that before they'll remember, I went to this bounce house thing, whatever.
Yeah. It'll be like the bubble wrap birthday party.
Yes. Right.
I mean, it's so much fun. And we do that. We use bubble wrap in like when we're doing group workshops on like stress management, where we'll hand out a piece of bubble wrap to everybody in the room, and then we go around the room and mention like one thing that is a source of stress for us. And if you also have that in your life as a source of stress, you pop the bubble. And so you hear all the other people popping their bubble wrap, and it like normalizes your feelings of things that make you stressed.
Like, same.
Yep. They're like, and you just go pop, 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 pop. And you're like, oh, yes. And sometimes you pop a whole bunch because you're like, yeah, me, totally, pop, 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 pop. And it just makes you, as the person who say that, feel so good when you hear all those. It's like little things like that,
Right?
Works. It totally works.
Keep it simple.
Yes. I love that. I'm going to have to follow her.
You should. Kat Ogden.
Kat Ogden.
And I'm probably the only one watching these because, she's just a regular person. She doesn't have tons of followers or anything. Yeah. But I watch all of them because I do think it just keeps you in that frame of mind of how to be better. And I keep thinking about your great advice about comparing yourself to who you were yesterday.
Yes.
Because you can just do a little bit each day.
Yes. And
then create habits, and you just get in that mindset of, I'm trying not to use so much. I'm trying not to buy so much. I'm trying not to be wasteful. Yes. And watching her videos serves as a reminder for me.
And will tomorrow me be proud of the actions that today me is taking?
Mm-hmm.
Those little tiny things.
Yeah.
It's like that. It's like you walk by a little super small, at my house, there was a piece of trash that had fallen out of my car that was in the planter. And I walked by this piece of paper for a week and a half. And then I thought to myself, tomorrow you will probably be like, Sarah, why didn't you just pick up that piece of trash? So today you should probably just pick it up. And it took all of 2 seconds. And then I didn't think about it anymore. And then I felt good. And it was one little small action that I was rewarded with a bunch of good feelings from. And then after doing that, I recognized how many times over that week and a half that I walked by it, I gave myself a little dose of anxiety and stress and feeling of guilt as I walked by and didn't pick it up.
Well, because the world can feel very overwhelming and that you can't do better and it's all hopeless and everything's terrible. But if you are willing to celebrate small victories like that, then you can get excited about the progress you make, even if it's small.
Yes. One of my favorite interventions and little things to do with clients in the room is especially when they're feeling like kind of what you're saying, and is make a list of 2 columns, things that you can't control and things that you can control.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. Let's talk about what you can't control.
Yeah.
Now, what are some things that you can? And could we create something that you can control about whatever the situation is?
Mm-hmm.
And it's it really does help you turn the negatives into a positive and feel and that's what we all want, is control over our lives and control over, anything.
Well, and I think I kind of put all of this to the side because sometimes it feels like, why should I have to try to save the earth or whatever it is that your goal is when the government or whoever isn't doing what they should be doing?
Right.
My small thing won't make any difference, but it's so much bigger than that. It's more about how you feel inside rather than whether or not it's making a noticeable difference on the planet Earth.
Yes.
Oh,
and that enough people do that and have those good feelings, it's impossible for the collective whole to not then become happier. It happens in a family, when you have a family in therapy, and as every individual member becomes more self-aware and their own level of self-worth and how they perceive themselves grows, then so does their compassion and understanding for others. Conflicts are reduced, and it's almost like the problems kind of fix themselves, and everybody rearranges themselves to be more harmonious and more in line with each other because they're feeling more aligned with themselves.
That is why one of the tips that I gave about following your local library, it sounds like no big whoop, but it's so much bigger because not only will you get to use their services and get books and improve your life in that way, but you're also then a part of your community. And
that does feel so good.
Yeah, you start to feel those good, the chemicals in your brain. They're saying, this is good, this is fun, life is okay.
Yes. I'm really getting into, now that I've lived in, there aren't a lot of places where I've lived for, more than 2 years.
Right.
I kind of moved around a lot and, was, nomadic.
Yeah,
as
you were
a younger person. And now that I'm in one place, I really am starting to feel all those warm fuzzies and good feelings from connecting with my local businesses and going to places where I feel like I'm giving back to the people in my community that live there, and that I feel more connected.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think it really improves your life, and especially when you have kids, then you'll be able to feel like they're a part of the community too. That's
I have
good.
strong connections to the women who wax my bikini line now. They are in my community, and I am happy to pay them every 30 days.
I need to do that. I need to just
if you don't have
in.
to, you don't need. I mean, it's a necessity over here. It's there's no like shaving option.
Okay, yeah,
but you can shave, so shave.
Yeah, but doesn't it last a lot longer when you wax?
Yeah, way longer.
That's a really nice perk.
It's the best.
How often do you have to go?
I mean, I just go. I have this wonderful thing I signed up for where for like $55 a month you can, and that's cheap because to get the whole thing done is usually like $65 to $70. They'll do your waxing, or if you don't want to get it that month, then they'll do a facial for you.
That's a great deal.
I know. So it's the best. So I alternate each month, and because I find that it usually lasts like just that kind of amount of time. So I'll go like 1 month I'll get a facial, and the next month I'll put myself through horrendous pain.
And smooth. How bad are we talking here?
I mean, for me, it's not that bad. I don't think it's that bad. It's
and
bad.
Do you have
Who
to
am I kidding? It's awful. I just am. Those are lies I'm telling myself. It's not that bad. Is the lie. But I would say sugaring is far less painful than waxing.
Okay.
Because it uses like this, material, whatever, that doesn't, sugar-based stuff that doesn't stick to your skin the same way waxing does. Like waxing can remove like the top 2 layers of your skin, really. It's like... Good Lord. Yeah. And the sugaring does not. And it like slows the hair growth. Like I did it for a while on my armpits. And then afterwards, after like a couple months, there was way less hair. And then I just stopped doing that. And then I, started shaving, and then it grows back. But they say if you just keep waxing, then you won't have her. And somebody like you who has such fine hair, if you started waxing, I bet in 6 months you wouldn't even have to do it anymore. It would be like little touch-ups.
Wow.
Now
that's
you have
reason
such fine
to do
hair.
it.
Yep.
Well, but how long do you have to let it grow before the appointment?
At least the grain, like it should be about the size of long grain rice. I know that's very specific, but it always helps me.
Okay, I'll keep.
Because I was like, it's 1/8 of an inch. No, that doesn't help anybody.
I couldn't tell you the last time I had that long of a hair in that area.
Because you just shave it?
Yeah, every day.
Oh, wow. Oh, my God. That sounds like that would be just so much pain for me.
Well, I mean, really, we should wrap it up. I know you're getting excited, but we should probably just say goodbye to our friends here.
Oh, we'll save it for another day.
We'll save it. Because, we have lives to live, Sarah.
That's right. And so does everybody else, I guess. So they say.
They're probably finishing up their workout, or they just arrived at work or whatever, and they need to move on. It's fine.
Yeah.
Don't forget to leave us a 5-star review and, subscribe, tell a friend, all that jazz.
Tell like 2 friends.
Yeah, please.
Remember how we're in the 7 podcasts that will like make you feel better?
Yeah. Did you
have a friend that needs
already?
to feel better? Subscribe. Tell them to prescribe them this podcast.
See, problem solved. Now we're good. We're good. We spread the love. We did good today, Sarah. I'm proud of us.
Oh, thanks. Now let's go enjoy that pool that is now beautifully cleaned.
All right. Bye, everybody.
All right, bye.
This podcast is brought to you by Wave Podcast Network. Check out all of our shows, including the Brain Candy Podcast, I Don't Get It, Coffee Convos, and Let's Talk About It.